This is Steve Beverly. Before we go to Reagan Smith, here's this story. 3 adults were arrested by a school resource officer earlier today at North Parkway Middle School. Sheriff John Mayer says a school resource officer was called to assist in a disruption in the school office around 1:10 this afternoon. Mayer says female parent Arlene Pugh created a commotion and refused to leave. The resource officer used chemical spray and an electronic device in order to bring Pugh under control. She was charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and assaulting a law enforcement officer. Her adult daughter, Zaire Lewis, was arrested and charged with assault and disorderly conduct. A third adult was arrested on an unrelated matter. Nissan Mitchell had an outstanding warrant from another county in Tennessee. Sheriff Mayer says no students were injured and order was restored. Now here's Reagan with the rest of tonight's news.
This is your West Tennessee Today early evening report. I'm Reagan Smith. School board members will be taking their message to state lawmakers this week. Friday, they'll be meeting with 2 members of the Madison County delegation. Last week, the board unanimously opposed school vouchers for the state of Tennessee. A bill to allow vouchers could come before the General Assembly. State Representative Johnny Dodd and State Senator Ed Jackson will hear the board's concerns. Board member Shannon Stewart says vouchers would allow parents to take money out of public schools and use it for private school enrollment.
School vouchers will have an adverse effect on public schools by taking funding and taking students away from the school system that are much needed. But that's parents' choice, but I don't think public dollars should go toward funding that.
The idea of a later school bell time in Jackson and Madison County has begun to pick up speed. That issue may be part of Tuesday's school board long-range planning committee meeting. Last month, School Superintendent Eric Jones laid out 2 possible options for the committee. Long-range Chairman Morris Merriweather added a third choice. He proposes leaving the start time for elementary school children at 8 a.m. and moving the bell time for middle and high school students to 8:45. For more than 30 years, older students have started their day at 7:15 a.m. Dr. Joanne Stevenson says the adolescent brain does not function well before 8:30 at the earliest. Another bill before state lawmakers this year would free up more money for school safety precautions. Mary Barnes tells us why this has become an issue of serious concern in West Tennessee.
When Marshall County High School was the scene of a fatal school shooting, it was a wake-up call for many people in the area. Marshall is less than 2 hours away from Jackson. A city commissioner in nearby Paducah was a student when Heath High School was hit by an active shooter 20 years ago. She said she was angry when she first heard about the news of Marshall.
I think the schools are pretty well prepared. I just think that we don't do enough at the community level to prevent stuff like this.
This was several years ago during an active shooter drill at Northside High School in Jackson. The principal at the time, Ricky Catlett, went from door to door to see if students and faculty were following the procedure. The Jackson Police Department regularly puts its officers through active shooter training and drills.
We do that in some buildings here in town where we train. It was an old college dormitory, and we train on a regular basis. We've used that building numerous times over the years.
Jackson City Council will consider annexation and a dog park Tuesday. The annexation is for an area south of Browns Church Road. The city is proposing to take in the area as a light industrial district. The area is 33 acres along North Parkway East, and council will consider a contract for designing a new dog park. The park will be adjacent to the ballpark at Jackson. 4 years ago, our school system closed a loophole and banned students from smoking vapes, but that doesn't stop the health risks. We hear more from Dr. Mary Clark.
Are teens who vape at an increased risk of smoking traditional cigarettes and other tobacco products? Researchers analyzed surveys filled out by more than 6,000 kids from 2013 to 2016. The surveys were part of an ongoing national study on tobacco use and how it affects your health. All of the participants were tobacco naive at the start. By the end, 8.6% reported using e-cigarettes as their first tobacco product. 5% reported using another non-cigarette product first, and more than 3% reported starting with cigarettes. Adolescents whose first tobacco product was an e-cigarette were significantly more likely to initiate cigarettes over 2 years of follow-up. During that time period, the researchers estimate nearly 22% of new cigarette use and about 15% of current cigarette use was the result of prior e-cigarette use. The authors say the association of prior e-cigarette use with cigarette initiation was stronger among low-risk youths.
You'd get the idea spring is already here from the weekend and what we can expect through Thursday. Let's take a look at your pinpoint weather forecast for West Tennessee today. After Monday's high of 67, we're going to be in the low 70s both Tuesday and Wednesday, and our nighttime lows are only dipping down into the 60s. But Wednesday night, an 80% chance of rain rolls into West Tennessee. That will continue through most of Thursday. Then look at that 40-degree drop in temperatures by Thursday night. Friday, our high will only be 38. That's our look at news and weather across West Tennessee today. I'm Reagan Smith. Remember, when news breaks out, we break in. Have a great day and night.